Our latest mortgage stress and default modelling is in for November. So, today we discuss the results and count down the latest top 10 suburbs across Australia. Hi, I'm Martin North, Principal Analyst at Digital Finance Analytics. Today we discuss the latest mortgage stress and default results and count down to the current most highly stressed postcode in the country. This is based on our updated mortgage stress and default modelling for Australian mortgage borrowers. And it's to the end of November 2017. Our analysis uses the DFA core market model, which combines information from our 52,000 household surveys, public data from the RBA, ABS and APRA, and private data from lenders and aggregators. The data is current to the end of November 2017. We analyse household cash flow based on real incomes, outgoings and mortgage repayments, rather than an arbitrary 30% of income. Households are defined as stressed when net income does not cover ongoing costs. Households in mild stress have little leeway in their cash flows, whereas those in severe stress are unable to meet repayments from current income. In both cases, households manage this deficit by cutting back on spending, putting more on credit cards, and seeking to refinance, restructure or sell their home. Across Australia, more than 913 households are estimated now to be in mortgage stress, up 3,000 from last month. This equates to 29.4% of households. We also find that more than 21,000 of these are in severe stress, and that's the same count as last month. We see continued default pressure building in Western Australia, as well as among more affluent households beyond the traditional mortgage belts across Australia. But, notably, we see stress building in the urban fringes of the major markets around Sydney and Melbourne. Stress eased a little in Queensland, thanks to better employment prospects. We estimate that more than 52,000 households risk 30-day default in the next 12 months, which is a similar count to last month. We expect bank loss portfolios to be around 2.8 basis points overall, although the losses in Western Australia could rise to 4.9 basis points. As continued pressure from low wage growth and rising cost bites, those with larger mortgages are having more difficulty balancing the family budget. As a result, risks in the system continue to rise, and whilst recent strengthening of lending standards will help protect some new borrowers, there are many households currently holding loans which could not now be approved. These stressed households are less likely to spend at the shops, which will act as a further drag anchor on future growth. One reason why retail spending is so muted. The number of households impacted are economically significant, especially as household debt continues to climb to new record levels. Mortgage lending is still growing at 3 times income, and this is just not sustainable. The latest household debt to income ratio is now at a record 193.7. The forces which are lifting mortgage stress levels remain largely the same. In cash flow terms, we see households having to cope with rising costs of living, whilst real incomes continue to fall, and underemployment remains quite high. Households have larger mortgages thanks to the strong rise in home prices, especially in the main eastern state centres. While mortgage rates remain quite low for owner-occupied borrowers, those with interest-only loans or investment loans have seen significant rises. We expect some upward pressure on real mortgage rates in the next year or so as international funding pressures mount, and there is a potential for local interest rate rises and margin pressures on the banks as well. We revise our expectations of potential interest rates given the stronger data on the global economy. Probability of default extends our mortgage analysis by overlaying economic indicators such as employment, future wage growth, and CPI changes. We've also extended our core market model to examine the potential of 90-day defaults and portfolio risk of loss in basis points and value terms. Losses in value terms are likely to be higher from more affluent households. Region analysis shows that New South Wales has 252,000 households in stress, which is 10,000 more than last month. Victoria rose by 3,000 households to 253,000, Queensland fell 5,000 to 157,000, and Western Australia rose 2,500 to 124,000. The probability of default rose with around 9,800 in Western Australia, 9,600 in Queensland, 13,000 in Victoria and 13,900 in New South Wales. So now let's look at the top 10 highest postcodes in mortgage stress across the country. There are some changes from last month as conditions change across the states. We see relatively more stress in Victoria and New South Wales, and we're going to count down to the postcode with the highest levels of mortgage stress. It's worth noting that more than half of the stress codes in the top 10 are in Victoria. So first, in 10th place, is Victorian postcode 3037, which includes areas around Delahaye, Hillside and Sydenham, about 20 kilometres northwest of Melbourne. Here, around 4,268 households are in mortgage stress. Of the 13,000 households in the district, more than half have a mortgage and the average age is 33. The average home price is around $530,000, up from $365,000 in 2010. The average monthly income is around $7,200 and the average mortgage repayment is $1,730. In ninth slot is another Victorian postcode 3350, which includes Ballarat and the surrounding areas, about 100 kilometres from Melbourne, and it's moved down one place from last month. In this region, there are 4,429 households in mortgage stress. The average property value is $335,000 compared with $281,000 in 2010. There are more than 14,500 families in the area and the average age is 37 years, line ball with the average across the state. The average monthly income is $5,300, which is well below the national and state averages. Around 33% of households have a mortgage and the average repayment is $1,408 a month. In 8th spot this month is 3064 Craigieburn, Micklam and Roxburgh Park. It's about 24 kilometres north from Melbourne. Around 4,445 households in the area are in mortgage stress. There are about 19,300 households in the area and the average age is 30 years. The average home price in 2010 was $335,000 and is now worth $489,000. The average income is around $6,400 a month, which is slightly above the Victorian and Australian averages. 88% of properties in the area are separate houses, and most have 3 or more bedrooms. More than 56% of these homes are mortgaged, and the average repayment each month is $1,783, which is close to the average in Victoria but lower than the national average across the country. Another Victorian postcode is in 7th spot this month, 3810 Pakenham, with 4,693 households in mortgage stress, and it's in the same position as last month. It's around 54 kilometres southeast of Melbourne, and the average home price is around $435,000 compared with $290,000 in 2010. According to the latest census, the average age is 32 years, and there are more than 12,600 families in the district. The average monthly household income is $5,900 a month, which is below the average in the state as well as nationally. 46% of homes here have a mortgage, compared with the Victorian average of 35%. The average monthly mortgage repayment is $1,700. 6th, and up from 7th place in October, is yet another Victorian suburb, 3806 Berwick and Harkaway, which is around 40 kilometres southeast of Melbourne, with 4,923 households in mortgage stress. The average home price is $625,000, compared with $451,000 in 2010. There are around 13,000 families in the area with the average age of 36, and more than 47% of households here have a mortgage and the average repayment is $1,850 a month compared with the average income of $7,600 a month. In 5th, and down from 2nd place last month, is Victorian postcode 3805, which includes Narre Warren and Fountain Gate. This area is around 38 kilometres southeast of Melbourne. Here, 5,076 households are in mortgage stress. The average home price is $545,000, which compares with $366,000 in 2010. There are more than 15,000 families in the area, and the average age is 34 years. The average household income is just over $7,000 each month, which is higher than the national average. 54% of homes are mortgaged, and the average monthly repayment is $1,700, which is slightly below the national average of $1,755. In Forth again is the area around Campbellton in New South Wales 2560, which is around 43 kilometres inland from Sydney. Here, 5,786 households are in mortgage stress. The average home price is $625,000, up from $320,000 in 2010. Around 20,000 households live in the area with an average age of 34 years. The average income is $6,100 a month. 37% have a mortgage, and the average repayment is higher than the national average at $1,800. Looking at number 3, we go to Queensland 4350 around Drayton and Toowoomba, about 100 kilometres from Brisbane. We estimate 5,975 households are in mortgage stress. The average home price is $490,000 compared with $382,000 in 2010. There are around 27,000 households in the region, and the average age is 37 years. The average income is $5,300 a month. Around 30% have a mortgage, and the average repayment is $1,500 a month. In second place again, we have to cross the Nullarbor to Western Australia to 6065. This is the area around Wanneroo, including Tapping, Hopping and Lansdale, and is located around 25 kilometres north of Perth. It's an area of high population growth and residential construction, mainly on smallish lots. There are more than 6,617 households in mortgage stress in the region. The average home price is $635,000 compared with $529,000 in 2010, and down from a peak of $813,000 in 2014. There were around 17,000 households in the district with an average age of 33 years. The average income is $8,300 a month, and 58% have a mortgage, with an average repayment of $2,170, well above the Western Australia and national averages. But the postcode with the highest count of stressed households, once again, is New South Wales postcode 2170, the area around Liverpool, Warwick Farm and Chipping Norton, which is around 27 kilometres west of Sydney. There, 6,807 households are in mortgage stress. The average home price is $803,000 compared with $385,000 in 2010. There are around 27,000 families in the area with an average age of 34 years. The average income is $5,950 and 36% have a mortgage, and the average repayment is around $2,000 each month. We continue to see mortgage stress still strongly associated with faster growing suburbs where households have bought property relatively recently, often on the urban fringe. The ranges of incomes and property prices vary, but note, it is not necessarily those on the lowest incomes who are the most stretched. Banks have been more willing to lend to these perceived lower risk households, but the leverage effect of larger mortgages has a significant impact and the risks are underestimated. We'll continue to monitor mortgage stress and we'll update our core market model again at the end of the year. As before, I think it's worth repeating that many households in stress do not have a robust household budget, and creating this is an important first step to getting to grips with stress. Whilst putting more on credit cards and refinancing may seem, superficially at least, attractive, our analysis shows that these are often only temporary fixes. Getting to grips with where the money is going is an important first step to tackling the problem. Remember too that banks have an obligation to assist in cases of hardship. So if households are in difficulty, they should talk to their lenders rather than hoping things will work out. Given flat incomes and rising prices, this is unlikely. If you found this useful, do leave a comment below or subscribe to receive future updates. You can also read much more about the mortgage stress footprint on our blog. I'm Martin North, Principal Analyst at Digital Finance Analytics. Many thanks for taking the time to watch.